Wu Zetian was born in 624 CE during the reign of the Tang dynasty, one of the most prosperous and powerful periods in Chinese history. Her birth name was Wu Zhao, and she came from a well-to-do family, though not one of the highest nobility. Her father, Wu Shihua, was a chancellor under the Tang court and a loyal military commander. Despite her relatively privileged background, Wu's future as the most powerful woman in Chinese history was anything but assured. From a young age, Wu Zetian was known for her intelligence, beauty, and strong will. Unlike most girls of her time, she received an education that included reading, writing, and studying the classics, subjects typically reserved for boys. This early exposure to literature and political thought would later serve her well as she navigated the treacherous waters of the imperial court. At the age of 14, Wu Zetian was selected to become a concubine to Emperor Taizong, the second emperor of the Tang dynasty. Her rank within the harem was low, and her official title was Kai Ren, which translated to talented one. Despite her low status, Wu Zetian quickly distinguished herself through her wit, intelligence, and strategic thinking. She served the emperor faithfully, even assisting him with administrative matters, which was highly unusual for a woman in that era. After Emperor Taizong's death in 649 CE, Wu Zetian faced a common fate for concubines. She was sent to a Buddhist nunnery to live out her days in relative obscurity. However, Wu had no intention of fading into the background. She had caught the eye of Taizong's son, Emperor Gaozong, who was so enamored with her that he brought her back to the palace, an unprecedented move at the time. Upon her return to the palace, Wu Zetian's rise to power was swift and, at times, ruthless. She became Emperor Gaozong's favorite concubine and later his empress, a position she secured through calculated moves and the elimination of her rivals, including the former Empress Wang and consort Xiao. Her ascent was marked by several dark episodes, including the alleged murder of her own infant daughter, a crime she is believed to have framed on Empress Wang to ensure her rival's downfall. With Empress Wang out of the way, Wu Zetian became the de facto ruler alongside Gaozong, whose health was deteriorating. As Gaozong's influence waned, Wu Zetian began to exert more control over the state. She attended court meetings, issued edicts, and made critical decisions that shaped the future of the empire. Her influence was so pervasive that she became known as the Two Emperors, referring to the dual authority she shared with her husband. When Emperor Gaozong died in 683 CE, Wu Zetian faced another significant challenge, maintaining her power without a husband. She managed to do so by ruling through her sons, who were mere figureheads. However, her sons were either too weak or too disobedient to serve her needs, so she quickly deposed them, eventually declaring herself emperor in 690 CE. This marked the beginning of the Zhou dynasty, making Wu Zetian the only female emperor in Chinese history. As emperor, Wu Zetian's reign was marked by significant achievements that have left a lasting legacy on China. One of her most notable reforms was the overhaul of the imperial examination system, which she made more meritocratic. By allowing talented individuals from lower social classes to rise through the ranks, she ensured that the government was staffed by capable and loyal officials rather than solely by those of noble birth. This reform not only strengthened her rule but also laid the groundwork for a more efficient and just administration. Wu Zetian also expanded the Chinese Empire, consolidating its power and securing its borders. She launched military campaigns to subdue nomadic tribes and asserted Chinese influence over Korea, ensuring that the Tang dynasty remained a dominant force in East Asia. Her reign saw the consolidation of power in the north and west, securing the Silk Road and other critical trade routes that brought immense wealth into the empire. Culturally, Wu Zetian was a great patron of Buddhism, which had been spreading throughout China during the Tang dynasty. She commissioned the construction of grand Buddhist temples, pagodas, and statues, some of which still stand today as a testament to her devotion. She even took the unprecedented step of having herself depicted as a living Buddha, solidifying her authority and divine right to rule in the eyes of her subjects. Her reign also witnessed a flourishing of the arts and literature. Poetry and literature, which were highly valued in Tang society, reached new heights under her patronage. Wu Zetian herself was a poet, and her court became a center for cultural and intellectual activity, attracting scholars, poets, and artists from all over the empire. To truly grasp the magnitude of Wu Zetian's wealth, one must consider the vast resources she controlled as the ruler of the most prosperous empire of her time. Tang China was the world's largest economy, with a thriving agricultural base, bustling trade routes, and a population of around 80 million people. As emperor, Wu Zetian had access to all of this wealth, which she used to fund her ambitious projects and maintain her power. Her personal wealth was vast. Wu Zetian owned numerous palaces, estates, and lands across the empire. Her treasuries were filled with gold, silver, jade, and other precious materials. She controlled vast agricultural lands that produced immense revenues, and she had the authority to levy taxes across the empire, further increasing her wealth. In today's terms, estimating Wu Zetian's wealth is challenging, but some historians and economists have attempted to quantify it. Considering the immense resources of the Tang dynasty and her personal control over these assets, Wu Zetian's wealth could be valued at over $16 trillion in today's currency. This staggering figure places her far above any modern billionaire and solidifies her position as the wealthiest woman in history. When we compare Wu Zetian's wealth to that of other historical figures, it becomes clear just how extraordinary her fortune was. For instance, the wealthiest individuals in modern history, such as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates, have amassed fortunes in the range of $100 billion to $200 billion. Even at the peak of their wealth, these figures are dwarfed by Wu Zetian's estimated $16 trillion. To further put this in perspective, consider that the entire GDP of many countries today is far less than Wu Zetian's estimated wealth. Her control over an empire that produced such vast resources and wealth meant that she had access to economic power that is unparalleled in history. Unlike modern billionaires, whose wealth is often tied to stock prices and market valuations, Wu Zetian's wealth was rooted in tangible assets such as land, resources, and direct control over one of the world's most powerful economies. In comparison to other wealthy historical figures, Wu Zetian's fortune also surpasses that of Mansa Musa, the famous 14th century ruler of the Mali Empire, who is often cited as the richest person in history. While Mansa Musa's wealth was indeed vast, much of it was tied to the gold trade in West Africa. Wu Zetian, on the other hand, had access to a far broader range of resources, including agriculture, trade, and taxation, making her wealth more diversified and, arguably, more secure. Wu Zetian's legacy is a complex one, marked by both admiration and controversy. On one hand, she was a trailblazer, the only woman to ever rule China as emperor, and a ruler who achieved great things during her reign. She reformed the government, expanded the empire, and left a lasting cultural and religious legacy. Her reign was a time of prosperity and stability for China, and her policies laid the groundwork for the continued success of the Tang dynasty. On the other hand, Wu Zetian's methods of gaining and maintaining power were often ruthless. She is known to have eliminated rivals, including members of her own family, and used severe punishments to maintain control. Her reign was marked by political purges and conspiracies, and she was often portrayed as a power-hungry tyrant by later historians. However, it is important to view Wu Zetian's actions in the context of her time. The imperial court was a dangerous place, where intrigue and betrayal were common, and she faced significant opposition simply because she was a woman. Despite these challenges, Wu Zetian not only survived but thrived, achieving what no other woman in Chinese history had done. Her legacy also includes the promotion of women in positions of power. Wu Zetian appointed several women to high-ranking positions in her court, breaking with tradition and setting a precedent for female leadership. Although her reign was followed by a backlash against female rulers, her example continued to inspire women in China and beyond. Today, Wu Zetian is remembered as a powerful and capable ruler, one whose achievements and wealth have earned her a place in history as the wealthiest woman of all time. Her story is a testament to her extraordinary intelligence, ambition, and resilience, as well as a reminder of the immense wealth and power that the Tang dynasty wielded under her rule.